Did you know that Tupac Shakur's birth name was Laysane Parish Crooks? Afeni and Tupac's father, Billy Garland, gave their son the name Laysane Parish Crooks to avoid him being targeted by his Black Panther-affiliated family's enemies. But a few days later, his mother, Alice Faye Walker, changed his name to Tupac Amaru Shakur. He was named after Tupac Amaru too, a Peruvian revolutionary who led an indigenous uprising against Spanish colonial rule. In the 18th century, Tupac Shakur was a trained ballet dancer. Yes, you heard it right. He studied ballet for several years at the 127th Street Ensemble, a Harlem-based arts program for underprivileged children. Tupac enjoyed ballet and felt that it helped him develop his sense of rhythm and movement. He even performed in a production of The Nutcracker when he was
in hospital. He had a dream. He saw himself as an old man, but it wasn't a dream. The man he saw was someone he'd been told was dead, his father.
I told him, I said that I am with you, I'm your father. And I held his hand and touched him. But that was the first time I'd seen Tupac in about 15 years. It was a good feeling. And the first time I drove, I went by myself. It cost me $200. I got a speeding ticket. I couldn't wait to get up to prison to see my son for the first time. You know, again, to talk to him consciously. But they were very hard because I knew that my son at 3 o'clock every day would be put in a cage, 6 by 9. And to know that you, a part of you, is locked in a prison cell for something that he did not do was a very hardened experience, and it really bothered me. He kind of felt that he'd come back out and put on paper what he had been putting on paper, because that was more of a spirit thing that came from a drive that allowed him to do that. Well, being locked up and having your spirit locked up also can take away from that creativity. The last time I saw my son Tupac was in a hospital bed in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'd just gotten off the plane, and after I greeted everybody in the emergency room, and when I walked through the doors, I saw something that resembled my son, but really didn't look like my son the last time I saw him. With respiratory and gadgets hooked up to his ear, his nose, his eyes, his testicles, his toes, metal zippers up and down his body from when surgery had been taken as part of his body out. So you would have half-hour visits, so you would just sit there, and the doctor said that he could possibly hear you and that you could talk to him, but he just cannot answer. So that's what I did. I would sit in the hospital room and talk to my son and put chapstick on his lips because the respirator made it very chappy.
With him come over, and they had the Brenda's Got a Baby video, but it didn't have the sound synced, and all I saw were the images, and the images were so powerful. I thought, I really got to work with this kid, and I didn't initially remember. And I got home that day, and a girlfriend of mine from that period of my life called, and I said, you know, I signed this kid today. I'm listening to this record. He reminds me so much of us in the 70s when we were just so this and we were going to change the world. And I said, his name is Tupac Shakur. And as I said it, it like came back to me. I thought, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was for me like God telling me I was exactly in the right place doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. I was going to meet him the next day. He was with Digital Underground. They were taping a television show at CBS TV City out here in the Valley. And I knew I was going to look really weird when I saw him, so I called his manager, Atron Gregory, who I'd never met. And he said, oh, you're the independent publicist? I said, yeah, but I kind of have this story. And I told him, and he was kind of blown away. So the next day I went out. I'm walking from my car to this trailer, and Tupac is sitting outside the trailer. He's got headphones on, and he's reading a script, and he doesn't see me and stopped me. He was the spitting image of his father at that age. They couldn't have passed each other in the street without stopping. And when I asked him, his biography that Interscope had said that his father was dead. So I asked him, did Atron tell you that, that I've met you before, that your mother used to bring you to visit some friends of mine because I didn't think it was my place? to say that to him. And he said no, and we talked, and his manager was really cool. I was so in awe of the young man he had become, and hadn't seen him since he was about 4. I planned to spend an hour out there. I think I was there for about 8 or 9 hours. And we just sat and talked, and that was how we kind of got back together again. But I didn't say anything to him at that time about that I knew his natural father. Pac was hesitant about meeting him.